welcome to this video. So if you have ever wondered about circle questions, or you have been given a circle question before and then you thought, oh, this is going to be easy, but halfway through the question you are confused when they say calculate circumference or perimeter, you don't need to be bothered. So if you are new in this channel, make sure to subscribe and like this video. I'll be dropping a whole lot of math tricks to help you with your exams. And what is a circle? A circle is defined as a set of all the points that are the same distance from a single point. So a circle has a point, the same distance from a single point. If you draw this infinitely many, you get a whole circle. So you just need to remember that your circle is just equal to the distance from anywhere plus the center. That's what makes up your circle. So there are different parts of a circle that we need to learn, and I'm going to be explaining that to you. First is the circumference of the circle. So the circumference is just the perimeter of the circle, just round around the circle. So this is the circumference. Next, we are the diameter of the circle. So remember, I explained to you what the center of a circle is. Every circle has a center. Your donut, your wheel, you see that there's a center there. So when you are drawing from the edge of a parameter to the other, passing through the center, that's what your diameter is. So your diameter is just a straight line from the perimeter of your circle to the other side of the circle, passing through the center. Next, you have your radius. Most people, before we go over to radius, most people usually refer to diameter as half of the circle. And truly it is half of the circle because it's passing through the center. So the next on our list is the radius of a circle. Radius of a circle. Now your radius is a line from the center to any part of the circle. It can be, you can have more than one radius actually, but your radius is just your line from the center of the circle down to any part of the circle. You might have been seeing how related it is to the definition of circle, which is very true. So this is your radius from the center to any side of the circle. You can have more than one radius. More than one radius is called radii. So radius with double I, radii. And then the next thing is your chord. So your chord is simply a line from one point to the other point in a circle. That's what you call your chord. So we have gone through the circumference of a circle. I've talked about the center of the circle. I've talked about the diameter of a circle, and then the radius of a circle and the chord. Now there are some formulas we need to learn. There are some formulas that we need to know about, that we need to learn. First up is the formula for circumference of a circle. So you have your circumference, which is equal to pi d. Your circumference is equal to pi d. Or, sometimes you might not be given diameter in the question. So your circumference can be equal to 2 pi r. But you don't need to fit. Remember I said something. I said the radius is just half of your diameter. So since your radius is half of your diameter, that means you get two radiuses in one diameter. That means 2 times r equals to the diameter. This is something you shouldn't forget. So you get two radiuses in one diameter. Now you can see that one diameter here, radius times 2. So this formula and this formula is the same. It's just that in some questions you might not get, they might give you diameter and then you're asked to find circumference. So how do you solve that? Do you understand? So that's why these two are written down, but they are the same. You get two radiuses in one diameter, and then for this formula, instead of diameter here, we put two radius. So this is also the same thing as pi times 2 times r. It was just rewritten because in mathematics they have already written a perfect way to write your mathematics. So you have your numbers first before your pi and then your letters. That's how it's usually written in mathematics. So let's solve one or two questions on circumference. So if we're talking for circumference, just imagine we had a circle like this. Okay, I'll have to clean this. I'll have to clean it all off. I'll have to clean it all off. So if you are given a question like this with your diameter as 10 centimeter, they gave you this circle with a diameter as 10 centimeter and they said find the circumference. How do you find the circumference? As I've told you before, your circumference is usually written as a big capital letter C, though Your circumference is usually written as capital letter C. So circumference is equal to, I told you your circumference is equal to pi d or 2 pi r. They have given us our diameter in this question. So we just need to substitute. And pi, now the digit for pi is 3.14. How do you get a 3.14? You can see. The way they got your pi as is for 3.14, Roman, ancient Romans. Use your diameter can cover the whole of your circle 3 times. So that's, let's say we count from here. 1, 2, 3. And then it will remain 0.14 there. So that means your diameter can cover your circle 3 times plus a little more space plus 0.14, which is how we got this digit 3.14. Now the digit for pi is a very long number, is an irrational number, but when you simplify, it gives you 3.14. So let me write down the digit of pi. It's just 3.14152 all the way. It's very long. So when you simplify to 2 decimal place, you have 3.14. And that's how we got the digit for pi. So if you want to write pi, just remember that your pi is 3.14, or you write it in fraction, 22/7. That's your pi. So it's either you're writing it in decimal or fraction. Anyone is good, actually. So now we are going to substitute the value for pi into this. So our C is equal to, the digit for pi is 3.14 times our diameter, which is 10 centimeter, times 10, and our circumference is equal to 31.4. All right, no problem. So let me work on another question, but with radius this time around. With radius. So now we are given a circle, but they only gave us the radius. The radius as what? Let's say 5 millimeters this time around. They gave us radius as 5 millimeters. Now we are given radius. This is what we are going to use. This formula. So our C, circumference, is equal to 2 pi r. And we know that, okay, 2 times our pi is what? 3.14 times our radius, which is 5 millimeter. So 5 times 2 is what? 10, which is 10 times 3.14. And your answer there will be 31.4. So you can see, it goes both ways. If you don't want to think too much, if you know you want to use this formula by d all the time, there's no issue. Anytime you get a question with radius, just multiply it by 2 and then you use this formula and you're going to get your answer. So if you have followed me all through and now you're able to solve for circumference, make sure to like and subscribe to this video. And I'm going to work on another question, another video on area. So make sure you watch that one too. Have a nice day.